Alhamdulillah, all praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has allowed us once again to stand in prayers at night that we may be forgiven for our sins, according to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that whoever stands up in the night during Ramadan, all his sins will be forgiven. May Allah make that a reality for us. Before I start, I just want to ask one thing, inshallah, that to mention the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, that our actions are judged according to our intention. So inshallah, don't look at who is speaking, but look at that we are in a gathering of the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we are here. We are here to remember Allah. And in a tradition it says that in a gathering that remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the angels descend upon them. In another narration, that the sakeenah, the tranquility of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends upon them. And as angels make dua, that Allah forgive them, shower your mercy upon them, and they are waiting for us to make dua that they may say Ameen to our du'as. So make as much dua as you can in this blessed night of Ramadan. May Allah accept us and guide us. So alhamdulillah, we have started with the third night. We started 3.5 juz to 4 3/4 juz, alhamdulillah. You can almost say we did the Surah Al-Imran. Almost. We started a little bit into the surah and ended with the end of the surah. So I'm just going to go back a little bit to the beginning, as this surah is a continuation of Surah Al-Baqarah, talking about nations of the past, where they have gone wrong, what they have done right. And we should keep in mind that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does nothing in vain, including creating other nations before us. So there's benefit in this. Are the previous nations something that we can learn from? Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about them extensively in the Quran, that we may take lessons from them, that we don't make the same mistakes as them, that we hold fast to the religion that Allah ta'ala gave us, and not go astray like other nations have gone astray. May Allah ta'ala guide us and allow us to stay on a straight path. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts Surah Al-Imran talking about how blessed He is, how beautiful He is, and how perfect His religion is, and talking about the Quran Kareem in particular. And He says, وَالَّذِي أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ مِنْهُ آيَاتٌ مُحْكَمَاتٌ, that He is He who descended upon you the book, the Quran. And from the book, there are very clear signs. So the Quran Kareem is something that is very clear and easy to understand. Hunna umul kitab, and these clear signs, they are the essence of the book. The majority of the book is like this. Wa ukharu mutashabihat, and there are other signs, and they are what we call the mutashabihat verses. There are those verses which are not clear. We have clear verses, the majority of them are clear, and some are unclear. So these require study, extensive dua to understand them. For example, Alif Lam Mim, which Mawlana Ikram mentioned on the first night. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows its real meaning. So we can't even, some of the verses we will never understand them. Some of them take a lot of contemplation, some of them require asking people who have heard from, who those who have heard from, who those who have heard from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, etc., etc. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues on this theme of talking about mistakes of people of the past and tries to bring it into reality in our life. And He presents the Quran in front of us, and He says that some people, فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ زَيْغٌ, in their heart is some sort of deviation. And those people that have this zayg in their heart, they look at those mutashabihat ayahs and they try to create fitna, corruption, evil from them. So they try to say that this and that, it means this and it means that, and trying to trick people and try to criticize each other, etc. And Allah Ta'ala again gives us the cure, dua. We ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا, Allah, do not place zayg in our heart. Protect us from this deviance. بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا, after you have guided us. وَهَبْ لَنَا مِنْ لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً, and grant us mercy from you, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala further talks about reasons why people would be deviated, why people would have a certain deviance, why people would leave a religion or leave the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It says, زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ. That a lot of things, the desire for these certain things has been made beautiful, it's beautified. So some of these things, these adornments of this world, seem beautiful. And then the next verse he says that, subhanahu wa ta'ala, قُلْ, he says to his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, أَأُنَبِّئُكُمْ, say, tell the people, should I inform you, should I inform you of something which is much better than that? Than all of those adornments of this world, should I inform you what is better? لِلَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ جَنَّاتٍ. For those who have this quality of taqwa, the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for them is paradise, gardens, Jannah. تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ. Rivers will be flowing from beneath them. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا. They will be immortal. Allah ta'ala will give you a never-ending life in this paradise with rivers flowing beneath. وَأَزْوَاجٌ مُطَهَّرَةٌ. And spouses who are pure and cleansed. وَرِضْوَانٌ مِنَ اللَّهِ. And the most important of all of these things is the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leaves for the companions of the Prophet. He says, رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. In this world, Allah ta'ala is happy with the companions and they're happy with Him. Inshallah, may Allah ta'ala make us of those people who Allah ta'ala is pleased with, and we are pleased with Allah in paradise, inshallah. So moving on, keeping in with the theme of talking about nations of the past, and in particular the Christians, we look at one deviation that the Christians have done. We know is taken Isa alayhi salatu wasalam as a Lord, as a God. They worship Him. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this concept and gives a rational reason and a proof why this cannot be. So we are pleading to the people that, yeah, please look at this evidence. This is a deviation. Please look, and then just listen for a while. And he talks about the wife of Imran. She makes a special dua. Now this is talking about the family of Imran, right? That's why the verse is called Al-Imran. So we're talking about now the family of Al-Imran, specifically beginning with his wife. She makes a dua. Rabbi inni nadartu laka ma fi batni muharrara. That Ya Allah, I devote to you what is in my stomach. I'm pregnant, Ya Allah. I devote to you what is in my stomach. فَتَقَبَّلْ مِنِّي, so Allah accept from me. There is a very pious lady, the wife of Imran, of a pious man. إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. You are the one that hears everything and you know everything. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted that dua and made a plan from that the wife of Imran will bear a child who will bear a prophet of Allah. So who was the child of the wife of Imran? Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam. And who looked after Maryam? Zakaria, some say the cousin or the uncle, some sort of relative who was appointed to look after Maryam. Because Maryam would stay in a certain place and she would be brought fruits outside of season from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when Zakaria would walk in and inquire about this, she would say that this is from Allah. And Allah ta'ala provides whatever He wants for whoever He wills without reckoning. It is not for us to question how Allah ta'ala created or when or where or anything. Allah created, so we just take it as that and we say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So Zakaria thought that this is something very strange, and I would like, at the end of the day he supplicated to Allah, Ya Allah, just give me a son, give me something, a good glad tidings. So He gave him the glad tidings of Yahya, who became a prophet. And then he was given these glad tidings by the angels, and he said to the angels that how is this going to be possible when I'm an old man? I'm an old man already and my wife is barren. So how can I have a child? And then the message came that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants something to be, then it will be. It doesn't matter about rational reasoning. And just to remind you, why are you bringing this story again? We're talking about Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. How did Isa become? And he came into this world without a father. There was something unusual. So we're looking at different examples which are also unusual, but we don't say that they become gods. We're saying that they are humans and prophets and respected and noble. And then we look at Maryam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to talk about Maryam, how He purified her and chose her over all the women and made her somebody very pious. And then obviously that he was born without a father, etc. A couple of pages later, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Adam alayhi salatu wa salam. Inna mathala Isa inda Allahi ka mathali Adam. The example of Isa is like Adam. Isa alayhi salatu wa salam came without a father. But Adam alayhi salatu wa salam came without father and a mother. So subhanAllah, if we were going to take somebody as a God, wouldn't it be Adam? Why Isa alayhi salatu wasalam? So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about. How we can try to give da'wah basically, and how we can protect ourselves as well from going astray. May Allah ta'ala give us that understanding. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala carries on and he talks about later, very soon after, that قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالَوْا إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ. O people of the book, let's come to common terms. If we are not able to explain it properly, or if the recipient of what we have to say is not willing to accept what we have, the next step is at least to come to common terms. Okay, that's fine. Let's come to common terms. بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ, between us. أَلَّا نَعْبُدَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. We don't worship anything but Allah, right? This is a form of da'wah. وَلَا نُشْرِكَ بِهِ شَيْئًا. We don't associate partners with Him. وَلَا يَتَّخِذَ بَعْضُنَا بَعْضًا أَرْبَابًا مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ. And we don't take one another as lords. We are not the type of, between us and the Christians, we have these certain things in common. So if it comes to a certain point that they're not accepting our da'wah, at least we can have good terms with them, and we can live in peace and harmony with them. We try to find what is common between ourselves, right? May Allah Ta'ala allow this to happen, that we have good relationships with the people that we live with our neighbors, and etc. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks later on, moving on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this verse, very briefly, the battle of Badr and the battle of Uhud. Very briefly. And just to make it very clear that Islam is not a religion of war. Islam is not a violent religion. Islam is not a religion that picks fights or wants to be some violent or warmongering, nothing like that. If we look how the verse is situated in such a big surah and in a couple of verses barely even mentioned, we'll see how much significance that it is. It didn't happen that the Prophet ﷺ went through war so that we must go through war. It doesn't mean that because I haven't gone through war that I'm not a full Muslim yet. Does that make sense? But these things happen for us to take lesson. They happen for us to take lesson. And if we look how what happened in the Battle of Badr, they weren't even prepared for war. And after the war, they didn't just kill everybody, they took captures and most became Muslim. So this is not the actions of a violent man. Sallallahu Alaihi Muhammad. This is not the actions of violent people who were encouraged to do violent things. And if we look at the Battle of Uhud, in the morning of Uhud, he woke up from his family. He woke up in his bed with his wife. And then he had to go and prepare for war. This is also not the actions of a person who is looking for a fight. Then we ask ourselves, what is the purpose of our Prophet? What is the purpose of our Islam? What is the purpose of our deen? And if we go back to the beginning of the surah, and we read, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. That if, say, Allah Ta'ala says to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, tell the people that if you love Allah, the Prophet should tell his people, if you love Allah, then follow me, follow my way, and then Allah will love you. Right? So our religion is a religion of love and respect and good feelings and positive thoughts and positive actions. And the Prophet ﷺ said that the most beloved ahabbu nas ila Allah, the most beloved people to Allah, anfa'uhum linnas, the most beneficial people, the most beneficial of you to the people. Just to be able to give benefit to the people is something that is so beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to destroy and carry on. But more specifically, Allah Ta'ala talks about the qualities, the four qualities of a Prophet. رُسُولًا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ يَتَلُوا عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ. That a prophet is he who recites to you the Quran. his verses. So the first purpose of a prophet is to convey the Quran, or the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ, and to purify the people, to give the people the quality of tazkiyah, islah al-batin, rectification of the inner self. How can I be a good person? And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that his only mission, he emphasizes very, very strongly, that his only mission is to perfect the character of people. He said, I've only been sent here to perfect your character. That's my only mission. He's emphasizing so much. Why you zakki him, and his prophet is to, and his purpose is to purify us. وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ, and to teach them the Quran and the Sunnah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to read a lot of Quran in this month of the Quran. This is the first purpose that the Prophet ﷺ came for. May Allah ta'ala allow us to finish the khatam of the Quran by the Imams reciting so beautifully. May Allah ta'ala allow us to read our own Quran at home, inshallah, learn the Quran and make the Quran part of our life, that we can find this tazkiyah, purification, good character, learning the Quran and learning the Sunnah. Ameen. And just to very quickly move on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finishes off the surah by saying, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu isbiru wa sabiru wa rabitu. O you who have iman, isbiru, be patient, persevere upon what you're doing, never give up. Wa sabiru, it's the same letters but on a different scale, meaning on a third scale. It's got to do with other people now. Isbiru means you alone be patient. Wa sabiru, compete in being patient. Now it becomes a competition. Like how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ, hasten towards good deeds. This is such a good thing to persevere and be patient upon this mission of the Prophet ﷺ, that you should compete with each other, وَرَابِطُوا, and encourage other people to do the same thing. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ, and have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and have tried to build a relationship with Allah, لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ, and hopefully that you will be successful. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses this hope, we know that it's something that is definite. So if we implement the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet, we will be successful. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, the believers are successful. May Allah ta'ala accept us and guide us. And please keep us in du'as in this Ramadan. And Jazakallah for greeting everybody and smiling. Please keep up this beautiful way. May Allah ta'ala guide us and bless us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.